Good afternoon, West in the world. It's Thursday, January 29th. This morning our lecture was entitled New Views of Humanity, the Era of the Italian Renaissance and the Protestant Reformation. This was, of course, because we're trying, in light of the snow cancellation, to sort of compress some items and try to bring them together a little more efficiently. But what we were trying to highlight is that in and around the year 1500, there are some new ideas that begin to bubble to the surface that involve people simultaneously looking forward and envisioning a different way of living, but also very much looking back and making reference to their own ancient past and trying to apply those lessons to their own time. In the case of the Italian Renaissance, we talked about this as being sort of underpinned by a philosophy of humanism, that Italians, with their special connections to the history of the Roman Empire and the Mediterranean world of antiquity, were particularly open to refashioning their society and to the belief that humans had potential in their own right that needed to be somehow improved upon or tapped into for the good of humanity. This, in combination with the greater wealth of people living in the Italian peninsula, like the Medici family, makes possible a flourishing of creativity in architecture, sculpture, the painting, and in the study of human productivity in language and rhetoric, etc. So we talked about some examples of the way that this plays out in the works of Raphael, Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, Botticelli, or in the writing of Lorenzo Valla about the donation of Constantine. All of these are illustrative of a larger humanist program that's now focused on sort of human potential. We said that this is very much in tension with the institution of the church, the dominant institution that has guided European and Western life for several centuries up to this point. But given its preponderance of power, the church is now in a position of some decay and corruption. And we began to introduce some of the problems that exist in the church at this time, especially the problem of indulgences, the idea that the Pope has the authority to free people from purgatory, and is doing so largely by selling indulgences to citizens of Europe. This problem is going to become the trigger for the Reformation in the person of Martin Luther, as he begins sort of wrestling with his own spiritual questions and how this begins to sort of open the door to a new kind of Christianity, one that is going to borrow from the humanists the emphasis on the centrality of the individual choice and the individual's commitment to the life of faith. Those, however, are things that we're going to be developing with much greater detail on Tuesday of next week. So thanks, everybody. Have a good weekend. See you on Tuesday.